you remember school, 100 Acre? Infant school. Then we moved away, didn't we? Where did we go? Park Hall. We went to the junior school. And from there to Joseph Leckett. And I can remember probably more about the Park Hall school days than I can of the others. But during our days when we lived in Warsaw, Saturday was rather a special day for us. And I don't know whether you can remember, my love, that we used to go to the Warsaw brine baths. Saturday morning, up, down to the baths, and I taught this young lady how to swim. I got damn cold standing there trying to teach her to swim, but she was rather good. And when we came back, we had a short lunch. Stephen, Sarah and I, where did we go? Do you remember? Down to St Andrews. St Andrews, the hallowed ground in the Midlands for Birmingham City Football. Needless to say, you can honestly tell.
We're better now.
My friends, that one or two here support the well-known team in Aston called Aston Villa. And now, even today, I think I can see Sarah standing on the terraces chanting, Frankie, Frankie, Frankie Worthington.
In my moon boots.
Anyhow, during this period at Park Hall, she developed quite a fascination for horses. And she used to go down to the stables with Janet and Anne. And she came back smelling most awful. My car became dreadful. I was the taxi driver going backwards and forwards, collecting her from the stables. She had many other activities. Canoeing. Remember the canoeing down at Park Hall? We had many camping trips as a family with friends who were sitting over there. Horse riding holidays, hockey, netball. And I thought, Sarah, S. What does S stand for? Does it stand for sporting? And I thought about it, and I thought, no, it stands for strength. Remember when we moved house, when we went down to the cottage? One of the things I had to do was that she decided if we moved, this little lady wanted a horse. Oh my God, that was wonderful. And we bought this horse and we called it Breeze, do you remember? It proved to be okay, but my eldest girl has still got the marks on her backside when we don't kicked her. I could go on for ages telling you about the way in which she grew up as a daughter and a sister to my son and daughter's daughter. But not long after we'd moved there and she'd taken her A-levels, off she went to college. And I knew that when she'd left home, that really, I think like most of us, I knew that my daughter really wouldn't really come back home and live at home as a family girl. But all that happened when she left home has helped to develop a better person, capable, tough, and well capable of standing on her own feet and facing the world in upright and proud. Eventually, she decided to join an amateur dramatic society, and I think we have one or two of her close friends here tonight who have made friends with her and have felt the spirit that I've tried to bring out to her. Then she joined the Scout movement. And the Scout movement seems to have been a theme that has run through my family for many, many a generation. And it was through the Scout movement that she met Richard. I'd like to just read a small thing that I've written here. And I think it's quite apt. The foreground of life depends on the background. And Robert Baden-Powell, who founded the Scout movement, always wrote about one thing, and he always said being prepared was the main thing. And be prepared was his motto. And I like to think that Sarah's background has been well prepared by Sheila and myself, and with all the family and the strength that she's drawn from the family and all her friends. And I hope that she will always be prepared in her life with Richard. Now the next little bit was something that I was going to leave out, but having one or two things cropped up, I thought, well, I don't know. So I've got a little couple of things I'd like to say, and these are probably directed more towards my daughter and my new son. Richard, I want you to, or Sarah, I'll tell you and you can decide who you think it should be aimed at. A good woman inspires a man. A brilliant woman interests a man. A beautiful woman fascinates a man. But remember, it's the sympathetic woman that keeps him. Just a little bit of else I'd like to say. You don't know, but there's one or two characters here that belong to a certain mob that are running the book on the length of the speeches. And I am determined tonight to spoil it for them. But then, having said all that, we came to a certain day in August at Chatsworth. And I can't understand it, but Richard was scared to death to approach me. Well, I have a pal over there who I work with. I think I must be one of the most approachable guys that you've ever known. Damned if you ever want to work for me, I tell you, because if you don't pull your weight, boy, you're out. Anyhow, at a certain time during the afternoon, Richard took the courage in his hands and asked me if he could ask Sarah to marry him. The hardest part of that was, although I knew deep down that this was the right thing, the hardest part I had was to tell Sheila, because at that time Richard hadn't even asked Sarah. And I'd got to tell Sheila to keep her mouth. After that, of course, there really is just a chapter of another few pages. I've nearly finished, ladies and gentlemen, you're all right. There was the engagement, champagne and flowers. Do you remember the party you had at Hilda and Ron's when you announced your engagement, complete with fireworks?
Yeah.
And then today. I think what I've really tried to do is to show you that there was the start of my book. We've had the book inside with many pages and chapters, and the epilogue. I've got a couple of things. You haven't got away with it yet, Richard. I haven't forgotten what. I've got to find it, really. I've lost it. So you may be looking. The end of my book, Sarah and Richard, is really the start of yours. And I hope that your book has got as many interesting pages as mine. And in the cartouche is your name. One it says Sarah, and one says Richard. And the key of life is your life together. And it's like the Nile. It flows steady, it brings love, happiness and prosperity. I'd like you to put that on the wall somewhere. Before I finish, I've got to find this, I've got to say it. I've just got two small things I'd like to just say before I pass you on to a dear friend of Richard's. And this really is to Richard. And somebody said to me, don't say it because it's a bit smutty. But then we decided, my friend and I, that we ought to bring the tone down a little bit before he really gets cracking on it. So I just want to think, and I want you to think about this one as well, Richard. Alcohol is like love. Alcohol is like love. The first kiss is magic. The second kiss is intimate. The third is routine. And after that, you just take the girl's clothes off.
That's not your dad, is it?
So before I ask you to raise a toast to the most charming young lady today, and I think you must admit she looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I just want to read these few words to you. I apologise if the voice croaks? Who's the one who'll understand when I'm worried and takes my hand? Tells me, Dad, you're looking grand. My daughter. Who is it that always seems to know when I'm blue and feeling low? Then says, Dad, I love you so. My daughter. Who can chatter on no end, sometimes drives me round the bend, but who will always be my friend, my daughter. Who can all the world beguile with the sweetness of her smile, who makes everything worthwhile, my daughter. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, would you raise a glass with me, wish the best of life and happiness, and as long as her life and happiness is as good as mine's been, then she hasn't got along, she hasn't got much to worry about. God bless you.
So,
Thank you very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, now it's him, 50% of the reason for being here. He's going to say something. Thank you. Great ball pad. Put it back in. Don't worry if you can't see. Don't do the speech. That's what I'm looking at first. Sarah paid me a great compliment a couple of weeks ago. She said that she loved me for both my personalities. One which is the sensitive, kind personality, and one which is the loutish, blokish, that you've taught me this blokish personality. And I mean, quite a few of you know me, and I hope most of you know me as the kind, sensitive. Looking at anyone in particular. Now, I had to decide which way to go on the speech tonight. Should I go kind, sensitive approach, or the bass blokish? And I have to say that, as most of you know me as a kind, sensitive sort of chap, I intend to keep it that way. Sorry, guys. That's with experience. It's going to go with us to the grave. Is that? Yes. So here, I think, is a romantic story. Christmas Eve, December 24th, 1994. Working at Sunbank. Few people from work there. I was working on the call centre. The hub of the bank. Telephone calls coming in all the time. It's on a big automated system. Nothing you can do. The whole staff were allowed to go at 3 o'clock that afternoon because it was Christmas. And the intention was to go to the pub and have a few Christmas drinks. Just my cup of tea. So, I have to say I didn't know Sarah very well. We'd only met, how long have we been? A couple of months. Been out half the time. And all their colleagues at the call centre had gone off to the pub on the dot of 3, nothing unusual there. And I was just tidying the desk, and there's a big display board on the wall. And all of a sudden, there's 3 calls in the queue. This is supposed to be switched off, there's supposed to be a answer phone on. So I picked up the phone, and there was somebody there. Oh, hello, I'd like to do this with my account, please. Oh, crumbs, you know, I had to answer. And the system hadn't been changed at all. I was the only person left in the bank on the call centre. From 3 o'clock that day until 5, when the automatic answer phone goes on, I was the one person for the whole bank, with everybody else down the pub. Imagine how I felt. When I did actually get down to the pub, I thought, thought, right, I need to play catch up here. And with some vengeance, I got into sort of a reasonable Christmas mood that everyone was in. It was about 7:30, so I've been playing catch up for 2.5 hours now. I thought, Sarah's she'll be going home to Derbyshire fairly shortly, and I better give her a ring. So I gave her a ring, and I don't really. Well, I sort of remember the conversation. It's like, yeah, happy Christmas, yeah, safe drive. See you when you get back from your parents' house. I have to say, I do have to admit, in a reasonably inebriated state, but not. I was okay.
He's slightly drunk.
Reasonably inebriated state. And at the end of the conversation, finished something like, and Sarah, I just want to say, as the phone cuts off. This is what you heard on the other end. So about a minute later, the phone rang again at Sarah's flat. Oh, sorry about that. I just want to say, again. Phone rings again. It's getting repetitive now. I just want to say, I did about 5 times. She's asked me many times what I wanted to say. Never so. Till now.
You drunk now?
No. Reasonably inebriated is the terminology. But I do have to say that the end of the sentence was, I just want to say, I think I love you. I told you to soften up. It's the point that I want to make today. I hadn't known Sarah very long at all. We'd only been out a few times. It wasn't the mad rantings of a drunk down the phone, because drunks love everybody. But it is something, well, the point is, it's Sarah. Many of you know Sarah now already. Some of you will get to know Sarah. But the one common denominator is, you just can't help yourself falling in love. Very special. So, to this end, I want to propose an extraordinary toast to an extraordinary person, to my wife. That was the heartfelt stuff. Really, to all of you that have come today, heartfelt thanks from both yourself and Sarah, because without you, the day just wouldn't be as special as it is. And thank you, whether you've come 2 miles down the road, or from abroad, or from Derbyshire, from wherever, thank you very, very much for coming today. Without you, this day would be nothing. Thank you. Secondly, I'd like to thank Michelle for ending so wonderfully. Absolutely fantastic, it looked fantastic all day. And of course to Rebecca, Anna, Jessica and Pippa, just for looking quite beautiful. They look wonderful today. So, again, if I can get you out of your seats, because this is an interactive speech. No, you'll be outstanding. I'd like to propose bridesmaids. Bridesmaids. Let's go for it. I'm not going to sing. The other thing is, the speech is now finished, but you can't come to a wedding of 2 arcades without having a competition. Okay? And we've been looking at you, well, for quite some time, and there's been a competition on the day as well, and there's certain things that we've actually had done. Up here, this is the award ceremony. We have the award, the winning 6, and the 6th or seconder's name. Lots of matches, played across, special returns, and Bob Job week. Okay? So, the 2 arcades got together and we've agreed now. We had a little quiet moment.
No, I wasn't sure about number 2, but
Okay, right here. And the first one, for knots and lashings, we have to say that a couple managed to tie a knot 48 years ago, and it still hasn't broken. And
Blue 6.
Blue 6. Blue 6. I think the 6 is.
A Ron, I think.
Yes, yeah, and the second. Oh no, it's the other way around. It's the other way around.
Yeah, it's the other way around.
Big hand for Blue 6.
Yay!
Well done. real, very close battle, very close battle. We have to say that we've got some very, very talented people in the family. Debbie, who has made this fantastic cake, which we're going to cut later on this evening, and Auntie Elsie has made the bridesmaids' dresses. Now, I have to say, Auntie Elsie, picture to the post, because we haven't tried this, it might be multi, that's weird. So, the 6 out of yellow 6, Auntie Elsie, thank you very much for making the post. Those of you that aren't into scouting, which is sort of we're in the real minority, there is actually something on their activity badges which is called Special Good Turns. It's where a cub helps our Kayla. And there's someone tonight, well, the 6 of Green 6 has helped us both a lot over the last weeks.
Well, not me so much, but...
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's 6 of Green 6, Patrick Holmes.
Heavy enough to be liquid.
You're there again. Do you ever think of anything else?
Last but absolutely not least, Bob Job Week. And
Been a busy one.
this award goes to the 6 of the 2nd, Red 6, for unbelievable fundraising, an outstanding fundraising effort. Goes to Sheila and Alan.
The first half of that speech was by somebody soft and sensitive who looks like Richard Farr.
I am.
Never met him. We now have, perhaps slightly unusually, but I'm sure very entertainingly, the groom's father, Ron Farr, veteran of many a comedy occasion.
Strange man. Sure is. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Vicar. No, actually, I'm so excited and happy that I can't wait to hear what I've got to say. But no, seriously, we're actually here to celebrate a love match, pure and simple. Sarah is pure, and Richard is a very nice guy. And I'm sure Richard will do very well. Incidentally, I have a notice before we commence. I've been asked by Marks and Spencer to say that my suit came from C&A. And another one, we're indebted to the Sun Banking Corporation for supplying the weather today. Seriously, it's my job here today to offer help and advice to the bridegroom. Firstly, how to be a good wife. I do have this, and incidentally, you needn't make notes. I've got some to later on to use. How to be a good wife, and this is the actual text from an American home economics book, dated 1950. And the wife should have the dinner ready. Plan ahead, even the night before, to have a delicious meal on time. This is a way of letting him know that you've been thinking about him and concerned about his needs. Most men are hungry when they come home,
and the prospect of a good meal is part of a warm welcome that's needed. Prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Take 15 minutes to rest so that you will be refreshed when he arrives. Touch up your makeup. I suppose it would be makeover now. Put a ribbon in your hair. And be fresh looking. He has just been with a lot of work-weary people. Yeah. Be a little more interesting. His boring day may need a lift. Clear away the clutter. Make one last trip through the main part of the house. Run a dust cloth over the table. Your husband will feel he has reached a haven of rest and order. And it will give you a lift too. Minimize all noise. At the time of his arrival, eliminate the noise of washer, dryer, dishwasher, vacuum. Try and encourage the children to be quiet. Be happy to see him. Greet him with a warm smile and be glad to see him. Some don'ts. Don't greet him with problems and complaints. Don't complain if he's late for dinner. Count this as minor compared with what he might have gone through that day. Make him comfortable. Have him lean back in a comfortable chair, or suggest that he lie down in the bedroom. Have a cool drink ready for him. Arrange his pillow. And the lady in charge sent me this fax this afternoon. She says, this is from the Berkhamsted Cat Care Limited. This ain't Pussy, the owner. Good luck to Sarah and Richard. Read your invitation to Ellie. The message is, Ellie has a friend here called Nellie, who looks all day at the telly. But Ellie wants to stay warm in bed, so I'm sending Nellie instead. And I've got her here tonight. Signed, Miss Pussy. P.S. Don't let Nellie out because she wheezes at her.